All right. I saw your post on Facebook and I got, very interested in automation because that's one of the things we're trying to do. And we work a lot actually with spreadsheets, Excel. We did some automation, so not like fancy, crazy stuff, but we just tried to put some good formulas. And one of the things we did, we could put a print button on the spreadsheet. We select the properties we want and the information we want in that PDF sheet. So we select the property, it goes to other tab, and then we hit the print button, and that will give us a PDF of everything.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's nothing crazy, but it needs some coding to do that.
Yes, that's cool.
Yeah,
cool.
That's what we did. So, yeah, man, I wanted to know more, about what you do. So I got very interested in that.
Yeah. So to give you a little bit about my background, so I've spent like the last a little over a decade now working as a software engineer.
Okay.
So I'm like really familiar with what it takes to code, particularly web apps from the ground up.
Okay.
I've worked on like a trademark search system. I've worked on like an employee survey system. Some interesting stuff there.
Yeah.
Is some of it involving AI.
Nice.
So yeah, that's a bit about my background.
Okay.
And right now I've been offering services to the Sub2 and Gator community around like systems automation and AI in general.
Okay.
So, there's always a need. There's a lot of people who don't have those skill sets. Right. So that's why you may have seen one of my systems posts. I think it probably was. Yeah. So what do you have going on now, man? You said you just had some general questions that you're trying to build out your own systems and stuff. How can I help you?
Yes. Yes. So we want to build a system where we can insert information of the property and we can run those criteria we're looking for in those properties. They are very specific criteria. So we can really filter what we want. So, like we're not searching broadly, but a specific target. So that's a good thing. So we wanted to put like information. I'll give you an example, like market value, repairs, estimated repairs for this house, insurance, mortgage, down payment, interest rate, 6.5, 30 years, those things. And we want to create a formula that it gives us like, okay, this is a deal. This is not a deal. According to the criteria that we're searching for. Like, we're looking for, like, let's say, looking for properties that gives us at least 1,000 cash flow monthly with the specific ROI, with the specific NOI and everything. So, houses with numbers below 1,000 cash flow wouldn't be that great a deal, but we would consider, let's say, properties below 600 cash flow monthly, they're not good. And then properties above 1,000 cash flow monthly, they're great. That type of thing. We've subscribed to a system to the niche specifically that we're looking for, which is Section 8. And the software already gives us the option to do that, but we wanted to bring that to us. So we want to import that idea from that software and bring to us so that way we can add more specific things if we need along the road, because we have this simple basic system that is available, to us, but we're just able to work with what's there. We can't modify, we can't do that. So we want to bring to us and be able in the future, okay, maybe we can add this, maybe we can, okay, let's change this up. This makes sense, And we have actually, we just started training a VA for us, and he's a software coding person. He's from Argentina.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
That's great.
So that's one of the things we want to develop with this person because we know that's his great skill. So we want to use that. Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Do you guys have an existing CRM solution to manage, like, do you, to manage potential leads and stuff like that, do you have anything like that? Like, or are you just primarily tracking all your data in like a spreadsheet right
Yeah,
now?
we're tracking as for now in a spreadsheet because we're still trying to figure out, okay, this is important, this is not important. So we need to add it all the time. But I've subscribed to, I think it was HubSpot. Yeah, HubSpot CRM.
Okay.
And I just found not complicated, but not fitting specifically our criterias. So I don't know if you have any recommendations for CRMs, real estate. Probably you have. But I don't know if it will be the case that we create our own CRM. I don't know if that takes a lot. Probably.
It depends on how much functionality you need.
Yeah.
If you're needing like really simple stuff, it'll still be a little pricey. It depends on, I guess, also what you mean, what you think pricey is.
Mm-hmm.
But like to build out a full like web app around it, it's gonna cost you a couple tens of thousands of dollars to do that, depending on how much functionality you build in.
Right.
Honestly, there are so many good solutions out there. What I would do is find a good solution that is extensible and can be configured to your use case.
Yes. And
then I would add in whatever additional pieces you need to be able to handle things. So you said HubSpot. I've heard of HubSpot. I've briefly looked at it in the past. I've heard some people say, basically what you did was that, HubSpot had a lot of stuff, but it was also really complicated and it didn't exactly do what they needed it to do. Yeah. I'm sure it's great for some people, but I have found that Go High Level is a really excellent system. I've been spending the last several months getting to know it a lot better. Mm-hmm. As a software engineer, I'm also very impressed by its ability to add extended functionality onto it, because you can go into it and you can say, hey, in a workflow, you can say, I need to make send my data outside of this system to another system, right? And you can also send the data back into the system fairly easily. So that's what I really like about it. So even if there wasn't something, even if it didn't have a particular piece of functionality, I could always build it as a software guy. And since it sounds like you got a great guy with development experience, that may be a very good solution for you. I also think the pricing on Go High Level, honestly, is generally better. Because you're talking about roughly about $97 a month. If you go straight to Go High Level, or if you find a partner, like I've got a guy that I'm working with right now who runs his own white label. And, you could get a $97 a month account and have everything that you could possibly need. Yep. Plus, if you guys ever wanted to like extend it out with landing pages and AI and stuff like that, it's going to be really good for that.
Yeah, that's great, because that's one of the things our assistant, he told us, he's been working with some AI, but specifically for marketing, the marketing niche. So I don't know specifically what he did with AI, but he did. I mean, he said he's very good at AI for marketing and ChatGPT.
Perfect.
Those kind of things. I think, might be good, because if this is that extensible, as you said, we can just get things out, get things in, modify, edit as we go along, right?
Yes, exactly. So in your case, you were talking about doing like a calculator, basically. A really simple way to do that. I'll just spitball an idea of how you could do that from a technical perspective. You could set up on like a cloud provider. You could set up, like, write some code to basically take in the data, do the little calculations, and then spit it back out. And then you could set up Go High Level to interact with that system. And you could set it up to where you're not having to pay like a server charge necessarily every month. You could pay on a per call basis. Okay. So if you're not doing a ton of stuff, it's going to be cheaper for you overall because it's on an as needed basis.
Okay.
If you wanted to write down this term, it's like called functions as a service, essentially. Mm-hmm. And your tech guy should be able to look into that. He should probably already know about that. Okay. So you could ask him about that as an option versus spinning up a server, figure out what the cost is going to be either way. Okay. But Go High Level will be able to make those calls. Okay. And beyond that, it might even be worth, I haven't tried to dig into this just yet, but it's possible that you may even be able to just do the calculations inside of Go High Level, honestly. Okay. But maybe not. So at least there's the option to be able to build an external calculator and make a call to it and get your data back.
Okay. Got you. And that would be good because we can, as you said, function as a service, can you say again, function as a service?
Yeah, it's like function calling as a service. Okay. If you look it up on like Google Cloud Platform, let's see here. I'll pull it up real quick. Functions. They call them like Cloud Run functions, and then Amazon Web Services has their own version. I'm sure Microsoft has their own version, and there's probably more on various other platforms. Mm-hmm. So there's lots of good options for that kind of thing. Okay. And I think you guys should be able to get everything you need there.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just reading what the Google gave me. Cloud computing model where developers can run small modular pieces of code without managing their underlying service infrastructure. Yeah.
Yep.
I think that would be good.
So it becomes a lot more manageable for little things. Yeah. Because you can scale it out over time.
Yeah. Until we figure out the whole system, we have just punctual things. We don't have yet a whole idea of a system with the coding huge software. It's just little things we need to make decisions. That's great.
I think that's a really smart way to go, dude. Because there's just stuff you run into over time, and until you have everything streamlined and dialed in, you're not really going to know. Unless you've been doing this for a long time.
No, we have not. I mean, our idea is to get big, and of course, we want to bring people in, investors, but we need to have these functionalities running, so that way, when people come in, we spend time with them and not solving these calculations. Okay, is this property good? Is this property not good? And then we spend 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours per property. We don't want that, right? So, okay, we have 5 people to come in and invest. All right, what are the properties? Oh, we have 4 props. Okay, go to the calculator. Good deal, not a good deal, great deal. That's what we want.
Awesome, man. Yeah. I think it's very what you're asking for sounds very doable. Okay. And the fact that you got a coder with you, who's dabbled in the AI stuff, that is fantastic. You want somebody like that on your team if you need to start automating pieces. Okay. So you're in a good position.
Okay. Now, from a perspective as a professional, as like you, and so I have I have my side of being also an investor and someone who's trying to build this system with my partner. And the other side, we have this person who is a coding person, software engineer. And how do I start? Is there anything advice you give me to start working more with this person? To give him more room and okay, man, you're very welcome to bring in ideas, brainstorm. What we can, just improve here. From a professional perspective, how you feel very comfortable in an environment. Okay, this is very good for me.
Yeah, I would say the best thing you could do is to make sure you bring him into your strategy meetings. Okay. Make sure he really understands the how do I put this? The business decisions that you guys make, how the business runs as a whole, how leads work, like how do things get closed.
Yes.
Make sure he understands the business,
Okay.
and make sure he's in those meetings and he gets in some way trained up, even if it's just at a high level, because so in my opinion, the coolest part about being a software engineer is that it's a very generally applicable skill. But even though it's a generally applicable skill, you have to be able to go learn the business that you're applying your skill in.
Okay.
So that way you can understand like what the problems are,
okay,
and then come up with potential solutions. A good software engineer is going to be able to ask you lots of questions, get to understand like what the customer journey is, what the processes in the business are, and then figure out ways to automate the key portions that are taking the most amount of time from other people or costing the most amount of money.
Yeah.
And then to automate those pieces so that way it's now fast and it's cheap overall.
Okay.
So you should think of them as a force multiplier in your team, which means that they really need to understand the business.
Okay. Man, I just like that term. Force multiplier. That's what you said, right?
Yes.
Man, I love that. Very good.
I didn't come up with that. I got it from someone else. I forget. It's somebody either in our community or somebody really popular and famous on YouTube. But I liked it, and so now I
liked it too. I'm gonna use it. And if someone asks me, "Man, I didn't get that," I get that. I got that from someone. So don't give me credit.
If I ever remember who it was, I'll give them the credit publicly, and I will let you know who it was. So
that's great. All right. So, okay, what do you think about this? If we take the whole idea of the business and we break down the business in pieces, right? Let's say we have 10, and then we break that in like 5 pieces of 2. Okay, we have first 2, second 2, third 2, and so on. And I showed this to our, assistant, and all this within the strategy that we have for the business, how we make decisions, and this and that. Would he be able to understand, okay, we have one piece here, one piece here, one piece here. What about, I can be a force multiplier in this one. Okay, I can run this little piece in a way that, we work less and make more as a force multiplier. Would that be good? A good start, to show?
Yeah. Do you have existing SOPs written?
No. What is that actually? SOP.
So an SOP is a standard operating procedure.
Okay.
And basically it describes the processes that take place in the business.
Okay.
A good way to write your SOPs. I've got a whole video I did on it.
Okay.
But a really good way to think about your SOPs are you or at least when you're trying to write them is, what is the customer journey from start to finish, and include all the pieces in between on the back end too.
Okay.
So like the pieces even that the customer doesn't see.
Okay.
And you can, when you're writing your SOPs, there's really 2 really great ways to get started. One is you use like a checklist method.
Okay.
Where you say, what happens? So in this customer journey, so let's say the customer comes to a landing page.
Okay.
In this customer journey, what happens, then what happens, then what happens? And then under each of those whats, you say, okay, well, how does that what happen?
Okay.
So what happens and how does it happen? And you're going to end up with a nested list, checklist of what's and then the hows. And the hows are actually going to be what's as well. So you get like what, how does it happen? More what's. Okay. Well, how do those things happen? More what's. And I probably wouldn't go more than like 3 levels deep ish.
Okay.
That's pretty deep. And the other method, so that's the checklist method. That's really great for like very quickly, like writing stuff down and collaborating. And then the other way is if you write a full flow chart, and that's more time intensive.
Yes.
But that can be really helpful if you've got like it's called a business process flow chart, I believe.
Okay.
And you can Google this.
Okay.
there's a lot of like samples you could use, even on like Lucid Chart. If you've ever heard of Lucid Chart,
no.
You go there and it's a piece of software that you can use to create charts and stuff.
Okay.
They should have like a business process flow diagram or something.
Yeah.
And that would be a nice way to visually represent all the stuff that happens in a particular customer journey. And you can get as nitty gritty in that as you want, but it shows like how things travel across the company in particular departments. Like, oh, this goes to sales, or oh, this goes to fulfillment, or something like that.
Okay.
So I would start with the checklist. That would be a great way to just get going and write stuff out. And you could hand that off to your developer then.
Okay.
And he should be able to look at that and say, oh, I can see where maybe we could automate some things, or he might have come back and have more questions.
Okay. Yeah.
And he might even say, because he's got that software brain, he may even say, why are we doing this in this order instead of doing it in this order?
Yeah.
And so like he may even have some non-automated solutions that he may come up with just because he's got that integrator mindset.
Yes.
So showing him those SOPs would be a really great way to help him to be trained. Plus you set processes for your business as a whole.
Nice. Yeah. We have one SOP for one of the research methods we use. And fantastic. I just didn't know that term, SOP. I'm going to start using that one too. and I show him. So we have basically two research processes. And one, I've been working with that one for 1.5 years. And I didn't build that older system he built. And I show, the new system now. And he was like, oh, okay, very good. So that's absolutely, I completely 100% agree with that. With the SOP, I can bring that little piece, how that flows, what is the traveling from from start to finish. And absolutely, as a coding software person, you'll be able to figure out, okay, maybe we should take that this way or that way. I can automate here or a no automated solution here. Yeah, absolutely.
Now, there's going to be some stuff he's not going to be able to see just because he's not been in the business as long as you have.
Yeah.
And doing things the same way you have.
Right.
So the nice part about writing out those SOPs will be that it'll facilitate conversation between you and him.
Okay.
You'll be able to even probably go over your own SOPs and you'll be able to say, oh man, we spend like 80% of our time here. It would be fantastic if we could come up with some solutions in this part. And then you can have that conversation with him and you can say, oh, well, maybe we could do this or this or this. Okay. So it's intended to help facilitate that conversation and also to help train him and inform him along the way.
Okay.
And if he's a good software engineer, he should be asking lots of questions. Lots of clarifying questions.
Okay. Yes. I just started with him. I've been trying to meet him every day, and I told him since the beginning, listen, I want to build with you confidence. So we got to a point, absolutely 100% what is the process. And, I want to feel very comfortable in delegating this, not just by the reason to delegate, but I think as a coding person, I think you enjoy solving problems, right? So, and I said since the beginning, listen, it's not wrong doing wrong. There's nothing wrong in that, as long as we figure out what's the problem and we solve the problem, all right? So,
there you go.
Yeah, I'm going to put this as the...
We software engineers love that, by the way. I love it, dude. That's great.
Nice. Yeah, I'm going to put that as my to-do list. I'm going to start working on that to-do list, write SOPs. So I have one already. Maybe I can look to that one, see if I can improve it. And I'm going to take that one as an idea to start the new ones. Okay, to-do list. Very good.
Awesome.
In terms of spreadsheets,
and I'll send you
sure.
I'll send you that video too, like that I did.
Okay.
So that way, if you need some help, like figuring out, oh, how do I like break this down, then you'll have that, and you could see like I tried to make it like really simple, so it's not overly complex to get something out.
Okay, absolutely. I would have two more questions then.
Yeah.
The other question is, I know you. What happened with my camera? Let me see. I don't know. It's just frozen. Can you hear me?
Uh-oh. Yeah, I can hear you and I can see you.
Okay. Whatever. So, I know I've been seeing that you post very often in the Facebook group. So do you have a website or, I don't know, or a blog I can just follow your thoughts and your ideas? I can bring that to the business, and I can see like, man, what this guy said, this is amazing. Let's try this.
Yeah, so I don't have a website per se where I've collected all of that just yet. But what I've been doing is I've been making these posts across social media. So if you wanted to see that stuff directly from me, because sometimes it doesn't show up in like the sub 2 group or a Gator group, or sometimes they block it for whatever reason. And I don't know why. I think it's the algorithm. It just detects something it doesn't like, and then it says nope. But if you follow my profile on Facebook or Instagram, or even LinkedIn, you'll be able to see the stuff that I'm pushing out every day. My goal is to try to do something every day for the next year. I know that's really ambitious, but
but that's
we'll
good,
see.
Man. Absolutely.
So Facebook and LinkedIn are probably the best places because Instagram cuts my text off. I guess it just depends on how you want to consume it. Like I put it in text form, and then I also put it in the pictures so you can slide through. Yes. Either way, you'll be okay.
Okay. Very good. I'm going to do that. Follow you on Instagram, LinkedIn. Okay, very good. Instagram and LinkedIn. Okay. And next question I have, in terms of spreadsheets. So I think that's the most basic. We can start off, something to build, trying to build these little pieces. In terms of spreadsheets, is there anything you recommend to us? I don't know. I think this is a very broad question, but I just wanted to know if there's something specific with spreadsheets that you, as a software engineering guy, we could just do some shortcut. I don't know. We could use.
Yeah. So I'll say this: spreadsheets are a good place to start. They're not a good place to stay. So they can be really great when you are just kind of getting started and you need to coordinate information and data across a small team online. Partly because it's also free, typically.
Yeah.
So you can add automations. You can connect automations to them, like using tools like Make or Zapier.
Okay.
You can also connect, I believe, ChatGPT to them through Google Drive. But they get a little bit unwieldy over time. And over time, you're just going to find that trying to collect all of the data that you have and keep it organized, and then to like do particular things with it, it's going to get more and more challenging as you grow and you are dealing with more deals. So, that's why I say, like, I tell people, if you're just getting started as a team, maybe start in a spreadsheet. But as you start figuring things out, you should probably, if you have the resources, invest in a CRM like Go High Level or something like that and start using that, because you're going to have a better experience overall. And you're going to be able to track the data overall better in the long run if you have a CRM implemented. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, absolutely.
So it sounds like you started in the spreadsheet, which is great, but as you're doing more stuff, definitely shift yourself over to that CRM and start adding your little automation pieces on top of it, because you're going to be happier overall, honestly.
Okay. Yeah. I would say my 3 greatest takeaways here: SOP. The last one, spreadsheets are a good place to start, but not a good place to stay. And I got one more you said.
The force multiplier.
The force multiplier. Here you go. Absolutely. I'm going to remember those 3 things. Absolutely. Awesome. Man, thank you very much. I know you might be a very busy person. I know I'm just a little guy trying to, do my best, but if there's anything, man, I can, be on the help for you, I would love to.
Thank you, man.
I'll like to continue being in touch with you. I'm going to follow you on your platforms, and if I ever have any questions, I would love to get in touch again.
Absolutely, dude. And at least for the foreseeable future, I have the same meeting open for folks who have more questions around systems. And so, like, if you have a follow-up question, come and book another session, and we'll have another follow-up. So, anyways, I'm here. I want to try to help people in the community. In between, my typical work schedule. So
absolutely, I appreciate that. Thank you very much, man. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, likewise, dude. Likewise.